Oh my god, I'm so congested. Hey y'all, it's Ashley at Bookish Realm, and I am back with another video. So I know that I said in my goals video that I am no longer doing TBR videos, and I am sticking with that. I'm not. I think that I come up with this huge list of books to read and I don't end up reading them, and I am at heart a true mood reader, and I think I need to stop trying to kid myself and lie and say that I am going to follow a TBR, because it's never going to happen. It's just not me as a person. So hey, whatever. So what I decided to do is, instead of doing a TBR video, I am going to do once a month in the beginning of the month or towards the end of the previous month. I'm going to do a currently reading and what's on my radar. So basically what's going to end up happening is, usually when I film my TBRs and my wrap-ups, I'm just still in the middle of like a bunch of books, or I've started books and I'm trying to finish them, or whatever the case may be. Usually it's pretty wild. So I'm going to keep this format. So I'm going to talk about the things that I'm currently reading and some things that I'm hoping maybe to kind of look towards in the next couple of weeks. So probably the things that I'm currently reading are things that I'm most likely going to be finishing within the next couple of weeks. Things that I'm looking towards are things that I'm kind of like pushing towards mood wise. Like, this is how my mood is gearing right now. But that changes throughout the month. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm currently reading, which is a lot. If you follow me on Goodreads, which if you don't, you definitely should. And when y'all follow me on Goodreads, make sure you answer the question about why you want to be my friend. I have that up there for a reason. I've gotten like low-key harassed by someone because of me just accepting anybody. So make sure you answer that question if you do want to be my friend on Goodreads. So I am currently reading the New Year Bay Solution books that are coming out every single day up into New Year. So this is actually a few days before the New Year actually hits. So you'll be seeing this after the New Year starts, but this is actually previous to the New Year, or being filmed before the New Year. So I just finished up 6 More Minutes New Year Bay Solutions by A.C. Arthur, which I still need to write a review for, but you'll see me talk about that in my December wrap-up, which will go up after this one. I'm currently reading 5 Midnight Moments New Year in the New Year Bay Solutions by Cheryl Lister. I don't really know what this one is about because I literally just started it last night. Like, I read 1 page, and I'm thinking that this one actually has some office romance elements where our character Valencia falls in love with Dwayne, who's her boss at this firm. So yeah, that's always great. It's always great. And y'all don't mind me, because this video is going to be absolutely chaotic, because what would it be without me doing a chaotic video? So the next thing that I have on my list is Amari and the Night Brothers. So I have an e-arc of this, and then I was sent a physical copy of this by HarperCollins. This book comes out in January, I believe, on the 15th, because they were nice enough to send me a finished copy of this one. So I was currently reading this one on my Kindle, and I was sent this copy. So now, hey, we're going to start reading the physical copy of this. And I was wrong. This one actually comes out on the 19th. It is blurred by Angie Thomas and Nick Stone, and this deals with a young girl whose brother disappears, and she goes to this magical world to figure out exactly what has happened to him. I am actually still reading They Called Us Enemy, which I never finished, from November. That's still sitting in my Hoopla checkouts on my Kindle. I am also currently reading The Awakening of Malcolm X by Yasa Shabazz. This is actually about Malcolm X's experience while he's in prison. So the first book which she wrote, which was X, actually this book follows it chronologically. So you don't have to read them in chronological order, but I think that you would get a better experience if you read them in chronological order, because the first covers his childhood, this one covers the time that he spends in jail. And I don't think I'm that far into this. I'm probably like 10% into this one, but I need to get a move on this one, because this one does come out on January 5th, and I need to have my review of this one posted. So So that is one that I am also reading as an e-arc. So Black Sun, I was also reading Black Sun at one point. However, I stopped reading it. I have the audiobook of Black Sun, but I stopped because of the fact that I was getting lost and I felt like I needed to do a blended read of Black Sun in order to be able to continue to finish it. So this is sitting as currently reading on my Goodreads as well. I am still making my way also through Witch is Steeped in Gold by Sienna Smart. This is a Jamaican inspired fantasy that does not come out until April 20th. So I've slowed down on my read of this one, but since this isn't currently reading, technically I am currently reading it. Like, I will pick up this book and read a few pages every now and then. I still know exactly what's going on in the story, but I don't want to rush it too quick and put my review up too early. So I think my goal may be to finish this one by at least February. So I'll probably be reading this one all throughout January, but my goal is not to finish it in January or anything like that. But I do have it as currently reading. So excited for this one. Obviously the cover is absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't heard of Witch is Steeped in Gold, I implore you to try it out. I'm technically still making my way through My Soul to Keep by Tananarive Due. So we did do a live show on this. This is on Bree's channel, I believe, and I will make sure that I link it up in the cartoon below above. When we did that live show, I still had a little bit more of this book to finish, and I got bogged down in so many other things that I actually did not get to finish it just yet. So technically this is still marked as currently reading on Goodreads. I was hoping to finish this by the end of 2020, but guess what? It's not happening. Not gonna happen. Definitely not gonna happen. I am also listening to Maya and the Rising Dark by Irina Baron right now. This is a middle grade fantasy that has godlike, goddess inspired mythology going on in it, and I just really started, so I'm not that far into it. But if you are a fan of Rick Riordan's, especially like his Presents line, I think that you would really enjoy this one. I'm trying to finish this one quickly because the second book does end up coming out next year. It comes out on my birthday, I think, next year. I think it comes out on September 21st next year, and I had been putting this one off because this one came out in September, and as you all know, I enjoy Rita Barron. I've read her YA book Kingdom of Souls, and I have an arc of the second book Reaper of Souls in that series, which I need to finish because that one comes out in February, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But I do need to finish that one. So I also am currently reading Remote Control by Nadia Corfor. This one comes out on the 15th of January, I believe. I believe it comes out on the 15th of January. But this one is good. I'm actually about 75 pages into this one. This is a short novella. It's about 159 pages. So I'm pretty far into this one. This one is about a young girl who goes through, and it's so hard to explain without spoiling the entire thing, but it's good. It is this young girl who is known basically as a individual that is associated with death. Like, people fear her when she comes into town because they know that she has the ability to kill people on the spot. She could wipe out entire towns. And I think this definitely is more like of an exploration of like how isolating and how lonely that is for her as a person that was a child. Like, she was a child when this transformation happened, and the transformation aspect of why she is the way she is definitely is more so on the science fiction end than fantasy, which I'm very excited to see where all of this goes in terms of like how that may or may not be explained. But it is, for me, the lonely element of it and not understanding exactly like what has happened to her and why these things are happening. Like, she knows that she has these abilities, and as time goes on, she's able to control these abilities, but she just doesn't know what exactly 100% is going on in the beginning. And you kind of go on that journey with her, and it's very lonely, and you end up feeling like very sad for her because she clearly is a lonely child, and no one wants to be feared as this person of death. And the things that that she has done, it's a lot of weight on her shoulders. So if you have not ordered or you have not like considered reading Remote Control, I definitely would recommend picking this one up, because I am a newbie to the whole concept and idea of science fiction, and I'm really enjoying this one. So the last two that technically I think I'm currently reading, which is probably a lie. I know that this is a lie, because I'm sure that there's other stuff on my Goodreads that I not marked. My Goodreads is a mess right now, which is why I can't keep up with reviews. But anyway, the last two things that I'm going to talk about technically, like with currently reading, are two that are part of a thing that I do with Patreon, where if you're a certain tier, you get a personalized review of a book of your choice. So I'm working on two of these books. One of the books I think I'm definitely going to be finished with before January 1st. The other one I may be finished with a little bit after January 1st. But the first one is City of Brass by S.A. Chakrabarti. This is the first book in the Davabad trilogy. I think I'm probably saying that wrong, but I am only about 40 pages into this one, but holy crap, I had tweeted out, I was like, nobody told me that the first like couple of chapters of this book were so fast paced. I did not expect to see some players in this book until later, specifically the Jinn. I was not expecting to see the Jinn until later, but clearly we see the Jinn pretty early in this book, which I enjoyed. I think that it's super fast paced. I'm doing a blended read of it, which is making it go by a lot quicker, but it is a chunky book. We're talking over 500 pages, but I do enjoy it. It's about this young woman who is a con woman, for lack of a better term, and she gets wrapped up into some stuff. Like, she summons some things that she did not realize that she was going to summon, and it kind of goes from there. So I've heard, of course, nothing but great things about this one, and I'm personally enjoying it. The next one that I am currently listening to that I have not, yeah, I did mark it on Goodreads. Yeah, I did, clearly, because I did an update like 20 minutes ago, y'all. My brain is completely fried, okay? So I'm also reading Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky, and I am actually 33% into that one. I've been listening to that one all day today, and it is so creepy. I do know that around the 50 or 60% mark though, it changes style, and I'm very intrigued about how I'm gonna feel about that, because this one doesn't feel polarizing, but it seems like people really love the first half of the book, which I can see. Like, it's this literary horror, and I mean, this book is creepy. It's this little boy who goes missing for 6 days. Him and his mom moved to this new town because she's escaping an abusive relationship. They go to this really recluse town, and he ends up going missing for 6 days. And then when he reappears, everything about him has changed. Like, prior to this, he definitely was a struggling reader. He was just having trouble in school and stuff. And all of a sudden, like, he's amazing in school, and just certain things about his personality are different. And then weird things start happening with him, like when you're reading from his perspective, because you're reading from like a couple of different perspectives, not like the chapters are distinctly broken down into various perspectives, but it's just the simple fact that you are changing perspectives. Like, you see stuff from his mom's point of view, you see stuff from this police officer's point of view, and then there's like some other key players in this book where it feels like they are a part of something like this having happened before. So that's really intriguing, but it's really spooky, because this kid, he just goes off the deep end, and it's so interesting with him being so young. Like, he's questioning his own sanity, because he's seeing and hearing things that he feels like maybe he shouldn't be able to hear and see. And then there's this like obsessive behavior that is now going on with him having to build this tree house, and this entity or whatever it may be that we seem to be calling an imaginary friend is telling him that he has to build this treehouse in order to protect everybody in the town, or everybody's gonna end up probably dying. So it's really, really creepy. Like, listening to it is just this creepy experience. However, I'm very intrigued about how this whole thing is going to shift, and I think for me personally, just from like reviews I'm seeing, it's going to be a make or break for me. Like, I think that no matter what, even if it does shift, I think this will be a solid 3-star book. But I think that that second half of the book is going to determine whether it can go any higher than 3 stars. So that's how it's feeling right now. That could completely and utterly change considering. Speaking of things that I'm listening to, like I told y'all, I just want to show you like kind of what I have like queued up. So I'm gonna actually screen record. Okay, so I'm gonna just scroll through my Libby too, just so you can kind of see like what's on my radar now, since we're kind of talking about like what I've been currently reading. But here's some things that are currently on my radar that I have currently checked out on Libby. So of course, like, there's Night Swim. I have the Courtney Milan books checked out, but I don't think I'm gonna get to them because, as you can see, like, there's people waiting. I need to finish Maya and the Rising Dark, which I had talked about. The Falling in Love montage, which I probably won't get to. I'll Be the One. I really want to read Culture Warlord, which is my journey into the dark web of white supremacy. Hopefully I get to that soon. Nixia by Scott Rientgen. I'm not even sure how to say that. That was on Bethany's recommendation. How to Fail at Flirting by Denise Williams, which I have heard about through a couple of people. Rage by Bob Woodward, which is the follow-up to the one that I read in November. More Courtney Milan. Scary Stories. I'm trying to now kind of pick a lot of audiobooks of books that I already have on my shelf, because I think that'll be an easy way for me to get through a lot of my collection. So I definitely did see Scary Stories. The Decameron Project, which I think I originally heard about from Lala. I think Lala had talked about it in one of her videos, so I checked that one out. And then Rogue Not Taken by Sarah McLean. I actually own the physical book of that, and I just read a Sarah McLean book this month. So yeah, this is the physical book of it. And I just had finished on audio My American Duchess, so I figured I would just pick up another one by her. And then If the Shoe Fits by Sarah Milanowski, because I am so determined to finish the Whatever After series, because I haven't done it yet. So I think that's a lot of audiobooks. I always have a lot of audiobooks to choose from. I usually don't get to all of them, but I do check out what I can check out or what I want to check out. I also have some stuff on my Hoopla, but for the most part, the only thing that probably is of relevance on my Hoopla right now is I have Destiny's Embrace checked out on audio. So that's pretty much it. Now, physically, what I'm looking at is just a couple of things. Not a lot, to be honest with you, because like I said, I change my mood so much that I just don't want to create this list of things that I feel like I have to read and then I don't read them. But there are a couple of things that I do need to get through because of returns. So I need to read Lupe Wong Won't Dance, because I still have not read this book and it's due back. But I'm gonna finish it and then I'm gonna return it. I just got a copy of Twins from the library as well, which is a new middle grade graphic novel that I'm interested in. And it's about two girls, Maureen and Francine, who are twins and best friends, but as they get older, of course, they start to go their different ways. And it's supposed to be really good. This was getting quite a bit of buzz before it released in September or October, I believe. I am making my way actually through a couple of picture books right now. I had said in my goals that I am counting picture books now. Like, I'm so tired of living in this fantasy world where, like, I shouldn't count picture books because people are like, oh, they're so short and your reading goal is just high because you read picture books. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, like, who cares? Mind your business. Like, this is not a competition. It doesn't matter when it's all said and done. And I'm keeping track of it, y'all, because a lot of times I actually do get picture books for review. Like, I just within the past month have gotten 3 picture books for review, and I work specifically with one publishing group with their picture books because I enjoy reading picture books. So the first one that I got, and I believe this one is from Random House, is Little Nas X, which is C is for country. So I did like a soft read of it, but then I'm going to go back through it and pay closer attention to the artwork and stuff. I also am reading I Am Not Your Number, which is about how Native and indigenous children were taken away from their homes to live in these government-based reform schools. So I started this one, and this is actually a longer picture book, so this is not just short, and I only got a couple of pages in because I started going down a rabbit hole of like doing Googling and stuff like that. But yeah, so this one is a little bit longer, but this is a highly regarded picture book and one that I think a lot of people should read, and one that I am probably going to make my way through before the month actually does end up ending. And then I've got 3 more graphic works, and that is it, y'all, that I have like had my eyes on. Like I have a pile beside my recliner that is specifically stuff that I am working through, and then I also have a shelf at the bottom that you can't see here of books that I need to keep my eyes on within the next couple of weeks. So the first one that I have here is Night on Ice by Yayoi Agawa. I'm probably saying that wrong. I heard about this one from Shay. This is about a woman who has a friend that is an international figure skating star that is distracting her, and I wonder if this is kind of like a romance. It might be a romance, but I just recently picked this one up, but I'm really interested in picking it up soon. And the next one that I have is Komi Can't Communicate by Tomohito Oda, and this one is about a main character, Komi, who has trouble communicating because she has severe anxiety. So it kind of follows her as she attempts to figure out how to communicate. The next one that I have is one that I literally just picked up from work yesterday, and that's Measuring Up. And this is about a young girl who moves to Seattle from Taiwan, and it's one of these stories, I believe, where we're seeing this cultural blending going on, and the main character's name, Cece, is having trouble navigating between the two cultures, being from Taiwan and then living in America. And I believe that she uses cooking as a way to, you know, make friends and stuff like that. So this is good. I'm really interested in this one. I think this one is going to be fun to read. And of course, I mean, check it out from the library. So, all right, y'all. So that is my currently reading and what's currently on my radar. I know it's a lot. I usually am reading a lot more than what y'all think at one time. If, like I said, if you follow me on Goodreads, you know that I can be reading up to 20+ books at a time. And it's really, really weird and really, really crazy. But that's what happens to me as a mood reader. And honestly, like doing this video and kind of showing you this stuff makes me feel so much better than having to follow like the norm of having a structured TBR and saying that I'm going to read these books, because I won't feel guilty like if I don't finish all of this stuff, because it's stuff that I'm currently working through, stuff that I kind of have my eyes on right now. And you know, it just doesn't feel like me making the statement saying like I'm gonna read this book and then I feel bad because I'm like, am I really gonna read this book? Probably not. So yes, so here's for the mood reading, here's for the currently reading plus on my radars. I hope y'all enjoy these and that you still do get some good recommendations out of these, and that some of these do end up appearing in my wrap-ups. But yes, so since this is a currently reading video, I want you all to tell me what is a book that you are currently reading and what is a book that you have on your radar. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. As always, if you're looking for ways to support my channel, be down in the description box. If you're looking for ways to follow me on social media, be down in the description box as well. And I'll be back with another video soon.